performance Australian production.
I thank the member for Werriwa. The question is that the motion be agreed to. I give the call to the member for Banks.
Well, thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker. It's great to be able to speak on this motion regarding the ABC and SBS and follow on from some of the very wide-ranging debate that we've seen over the last half hour or so. Mr Deputy Speaker, the motion really can be boiled down to two issues, and one is, should the government direct the ABC how to manage its editorial content? The answer to that is, of course, no. The second question is, should the government ensure that the taxpayers get good value out of what the ABC does? And the answer to that is absolutely yes. It's entirely consistent with support for the ABC to say that the ABC should be required to do a good job with the substantial taxpayer funds it has. It would be an abrogation of responsibility if a government did not make sure that the ABC was being operated as efficiently as it could. Now, of course, on editorial content, the ABC, as we know, has an obligation to provide accurate and impartial commentary in its news and current affairs. And it's obviously a matter for the board to satisfy itself that that is what the ABC is in fact doing. And it's good to see those remarks from the chairman in recent times regarding the processes that he will be putting in place. I've served on the boards of a number of media organisations, and I think if I was on the board of the ABC, I would certainly want to make sure that it was appropriately meeting its requirements to provide accurate and impartial reporting. A simple way of doing that, Mr Deputy Speaker, is, as the chairman has put in place regular external reviews, or indeed a subcommittee of the board. But it does seem to me that it's incumbent upon the board to satisfy itself with that question, and the only way the board can satisfy itself with that question is if it asks the question and reviews the issue on a regular basis, because accuracy and impartiality is important. It's also entirely appropriate that from time to time the editorial policies of the ABC are criticised. I think there wouldn't be a person in this chamber, Mr Deputy Speaker, who agrees with absolutely everything the ABC says, and just as the ABC would obviously fight for its independence and for its capacity to be able to speak freely, so should each of us be able to speak freely on matters related to the ABC. I know there have been many ABC reports that I certainly haven't agreed with in their editorial tone, and no doubt that occurs right across the board. It's also important, though, Mr Deputy Speaker, that the ABC is efficient. The ABC is not a hermetically sealed organisation that cannot ever be questioned, that cannot ever be subject to change. We all have to change, because if we don't move forward, then by definition we're going backwards. And the ABC should look at its efficiency, and the sorts of things that the current review are looking at are very important. Issues like how much does the ABC spend on programming as a percentage of its total expenditure? You want that number to be as high as possible, Mr Deputy Speaker. How does the ABC manage its broadcast operations from an engineering perspective? Are they as efficient as they could be in an environment where obviously the technology around broadcasting and video file compression is changing pretty much by the week? Is the cooperation across the different levels of the ABC as integrated as it could be between broadcast, radio and digital, for instance? These are all the sorts of questions, Mr Deputy Speaker, that a sensible review would look at, and I'm certainly heartened by the fact that Peter Lewis, former CFO of Seven, who coincidentally or not was CFO at Seven at a time when it was very successful in the 2000s, is leading that review, and I'm sure that that review will look into these issues related to the ABC's efficiency. I served with Mr Lewis on the board of Sky News and always found him to be a very intelligent and conscientious gentleman, and I'm sure he will do a great job with this upcoming review. So, Mr Deputy Speaker, very, very clear. Editorial is a matter for the ABC. It is not appropriate for the government to dictate an editorial position, and it is not of course, intending to do so, but the government will fight hard, as it should, to ensure that the ABC operates efficiently, and that's precisely what we're doing.
I thank the member for Banks.